Welcome to the first episode of Name Tape Defilade. That's right. I'm Matt Rivera, and I know we didn't need another podcast because we got 480 million of those. That's just a wild number I decided to throw out. But welcome to episode 1 of Name Tape Defilade. Now, I know that this name doesn't ring a bell to more than 1% of the population, right? And less than 1%, and even a smaller amount than that knows what Name Tape Defilade actually stands for. It's a military term. As you could tell by some of the stuff up here, I served in the U.S. Army. Actually, by the hat. I should have remembered that I actually had a hat on. But this is another podcast, man. I felt like it was time for me to do something. So I felt like doing a podcast, was just something that I could probably be good at. Now, this is a solo podcast because I don't have any friends, and this is easier for me to just turn this space into something that I actually want to do. Name Tape Defilade, people. I am Matt Rivera. Name Tape Defilade is a military term for gunners and gunners alike. Name Tape Defilade stands for keep your head high enough to do your job effectively, but keep your head low enough so that way you're behind cover. And that's for military gunners, man. That's for machine gunners on trucks. And that's what I did in Afghanistan for a year. Now, I like to relate this term to life, man, because Name Tape Defilade means keep your head high enough to do what you got to do, but keep your head low enough so you don't get hurt. But in the military, you die. So I wanted to do a podcast, man. Why not? Nobody's going to watch this episode anyway. Maybe a couple of y'all check it out. I'll take some clips from it, maybe. But this podcast is not going to be anything long. I don't think I'm going to do anything long with it. I think I'm just going to keep it simple. I might take 20, 25 minutes of your time. I don't even know if I can talk for 20 or 25 minutes without anybody there, but I'm pretty sure I could. Now, I served 4 years in the U.S. Army. I was in the infantry. I was a 240 gunner. I humped a pig. I was in the 10th Mountain Division, Light Infantry, 132, 1st Brigade, Battle Company. And I was there from 2012 to 2016, and I spent 1 year in Afghanistan, RC East on combat deployment, doing all that fun stuff. Now, when I got out, I transitioned out. And then one thing they don't tell you, actually, before I go into that, let me just do a shout out to all the service members that are actually still serving. Shout out to the first responders that do what they're supposed to do every day. Shout out to those people that are on the front lines dealing with the evil out in the world, man, because Lord knows there's a lot of it. Shout out to all of them. And I decided to do this podcast for military personnel that wanted to listen to it. Just this podcast for anyone, really. I am also a stand-up comedian. I've been doing stand-up comedy now for 3.5 years. And I felt like might as well start doing this, right, so we can talk. And I know this first one's going to be all over the place because my mind's all over the place right now. It's weird talking to nobody. This is the only space that I can have in this house that I bought, probably more so from my family. I bought it for me, but this is the only slice I get. Dude, I'm in a 12 by 8 room? No, maybe 12 by 10. Let me give myself some credit. And that woman that I married was like, you can have this slice and you could just do that. So, right? It's cool, man. I'm cool with whatever it is that I'm doing. I know that when I transition out of the military, man, one thing that they really don't tell us, they really don't tell us that we're gonna lose our identity. They really don't tell us that we're not gonna feel normal in society for a little while. They kind of don't tell us we're gonna be lost for a little bit. Some of us are lost forever. And that's one of these things I wanted to have on this podcast too, is just to talk about how my transition was and talk about how I dealt with that and what I did to get through it. Now, I served with a lot of good people, man. I served with a lot of good brothers, a lot of wild ones. But in the U.S. Army Infantry, man, I got to serve with all kind of people, man. This is the thing, like when you live in a city and you stay in that city, you only know what kind of people that live within that city. Now, when you leave that city and you go somewhere else you've never really been before, you meet different kind of people. You meet people that have different mindsets, different cultures, different thought processes, different perceptions. You meet that, which is awesome. And that's what I got to experience in the US Army, man. I got to meet people from California. I got to meet people from Canada. I got to meet this dude from Thailand. And, you know, he was telling us about bugs and shit and his culture, which was cool, you know. I got to meet people from just all over, man. I got to meet a dude from Africa. I met a dude from Africa. I think specifically he was from Ghana. And he was in the United States for like maybe a year before he joined the Army. And when he joined the Army, he didn't speak much English. So and this dude loved sending dick pics. He absolutely loved sending dick pics. He thought sending dick pics was the best. And we tried to get him to stop. They just wouldn't stop. But I got to work with so many different kind of people, man. And I thought, you know, how lucky was I to do that? Because if I stayed in the same city that I was from, I would have never got to meet those different kind of people, man. I would have never got to develop those relationships and actually become a man with those lifelong brothers of mine, man. And how awesome was that? But I remember getting out, man, of the military in 2016, and I was lost. Boy, I tell you, I was lost for a while. And the easiest thing to do when you're lost is to escape. So I escaped into a bottle for a while. And I stayed in that bottle for a long time. Now, don't get me wrong, I still drink, but I don't drink that much. I used to drink heavily just to kind of drown out the things that are going on in my mind, drown out the difficulties of being a man, and just drown out everything that I was actually supposed to be doing. So it's easy to do that. It's very easy to do that. But in the midst of all that, man, I was trying to become a police officer at the same time. I'm just telling y'all about me, people. Not a lot of people aren't going to hear this, man. They're just going to, you know, see me doing or talking about something crazy. But for those who get invested, man, I'm just telling you a little bit about myself. Just letting you know. I tried to be a police officer for 4 years, and that didn't work out, which was a good thing. It was a good thing that it didn't work out, man. I think some doors close and some doors open. So that door for becoming a police officer closed. Obviously, I'm probably outside of my mind to do that job, but, you know, that led me to comedy, you know, because when I was trying to be a police officer, I was getting no after no after no after no after no after no. And then I wanted some answers immediately. And I've been wanting to do comedy since I was probably in my teens. And I remember a first distinct thought that I got for wanting to do comedy. I turned 23 years old in Afghanistan. And on my 23rd birthday, I was watching some gears. So we had some overnight, we had some overnight fire guard, if you will. And I had an 8-hour shift. And I remember before doing that, I downloaded a bunch of stand-up comedy into this little tablet I had. And I was watching that. And I remember sitting there thinking, I was watching Bernie Mac. And, I had the thought like, man, I wonder what it would feel like to actually make people laugh like that. I wonder what it would feel like to feel that kind of power, because that's got to be a wild feeling to feel. You know, you make a whole room full of people laugh, man. And in my experience, it's beautiful when everybody's laughing, man. That's awesome. It's amazing. But I started doing stand-up comedy, and I figured it out. I figured out this is what I wanted to do, man. And at first I was terrible. I sucked. And I still kind of suck. But I made people laugh from time to time, which is cool, man. And, now I'm doing this podcast thing, man. And shout out to the Triple F podcast, man, for the inspiration. Them Triple F podcast boys, man, Josh, Jeff, and Matt, them boys really inspired me to kind of try to do this and really, really advertise for myself and kind of take this route, which was interesting because I never thought I would do anything like this, man. I never thought I would do anything like this. Life is wild. It'll take you on a journey. Sometimes you got to walk through those doors you didn't think you were going to walk through. But now I'm here. I'm in my 12 by 10 little room. Ain't nobody allowed in here. It's like the boys club. If mama wants to come in this room, she better knock, and I am not answering because it's boys only. Not on that, I'm not like that, but I'm just saying this is my space. And it's a weird thing, man. Like, a lot of people have been telling me lately I look like one of the Hodge twins. Now, let me just say this for the record here. I don't look like one of them. I don't have pretty eyes. I don't have straight white teeth. My shit crooked. You know what I mean? I don't look like that. I think the hat and the beard and all that, it gives the perception is so, but I'm not political neither. I ain't like those dudes. I know they say I look like them, but, they do them and I'm going to do me. And, I guess it's a compliment to look like another sensitive, light-skinned dude. I don't know if they sensitive like that, but, them dudes are pro-America, so, they cool with me. I like those guys. But I always be getting told that I look like them. Which is interesting. But the name of this podcast, let's get back to that. I wanted to name this something profound. I wanted to name this something profound in my life that when I went through, I was like, whoa. And I remember going through gunner training in the U.S. Army. And I remember we were all in these mock turrets. These were like fake setup turrets. They wanted to teach us how to take cover. They wanted to teach us how the weapon system went on, the whole nine, rollover training. And I remember the first time I was in the turret, I was like, this is incredible. Like, I'm going to start just pressing down on that butterfly trigger and putting everybody to sleep. And I remember, like, we were about to do a live fire. And there was a part of this training where, you have to remember what name tape defilade is, man. Just you keep your name tape at a certain level. You don't want it going up too high. Just like I said, the definition. Okay, you want to keep your head high enough so you could do your job effectively, fire accurately on that target, and you want to keep your head low enough so that way you are behind cover, right? So I remember the first time I was in this turret, man. First time I was in this turret, and I'm sitting there, I got my harness on, I'm ready to rock and roll, my head is up. I'm just happy. I'm happy to be there. My head is up, and I'm not taking it seriously. And the cadre was walking by, and I'll never forget him. He stopped. And he goes, what are you supposed to be doing, Private? And I looked at him and I was like, Sergeant, I'm here and I'm ready to start laying shit out. Like, that's what I remember telling him. And he was mad at me for saying that. And he screamed at the whole line. He was like, what's Private Dickhead supposed to be doing? And the whole line screamed at the same time. They were like, Name Tape Defilade. And they screamed it again, Name Tape Defilade. And there was a guy all the way in the back who was like, you dick. It was hilarious. Profound moment, man. I'll never forget that. I was embarrassed. They called me out. I was embarrassed. They were calling me a dickhead the whole time. Private Dickhead. The rest of the day after that, Name Tape Defilade. Keep your head low, but keep your head high enough to do what you're supposed to do and hide behind cover, man. That's why I think about life. I think that is life in a nutshell. I'll explain this name over and over and over again. I'm pretty sure I'll explain this over and over and over again. But what an interesting thing I find myself doing, man. This is an interesting thing I find myself doing, man. So I don't know how to do this whole talking thing for this amount of time. I have no idea that just doing a solo podcast was this it's complicated. You got to learn the system. You got to learn all the bullshit. You got to do that. And then on top of that, you got to go chase comedy, man. I'm doing that. I got a family. I got a wife and 2 kids. And I'm still out there trying to chase this thing, man, because I found some potential with it. I'm not saying I'm the funniest dude, but I just have potential. I have potential to be good at this shit. So I might as well do it. I might as well do it. So, you guys are going to listen to it or you guys are not going to listen to it, man. I'm going to try to give you guys 2 episodes a week. Maybe 1 episode a week. It depends. I'm going to try to do this consistently. Put my best foot forward with some effort, man. And hopefully you guys enjoy it, man. I'm not trying to take too much of your time. Like I said, maybe 20 to 25 minutes. And, we'll just have a good time, man. I would like it so that some of the people listening to this, man, could listen to it on their way to work. Listen to it on their lunch break. Just talk some shit, man. I'll be talking about life. I'll be talking about funny situations. I'll be talking about motivational things, inspirational things. I'll be talking about my deployment, my time in the military. I'll be talking about life as a stand-up comedian here in South Florida. Just for a little bit of that, it ain't much, but I want to have a good time. And obviously, I'm a hip hop head. I know you see the shirt. It's a little faded. It's a faded shirt because it's an old shirt, but I really like the shirt. It's like a little kid with a blankie, baby. He don't want to throw the blankie out. So, same thing with the shirt. Wu-Tang is for the children. I'm a hip hop head. I love hip hop. Actually, I love good music, period. I know you can't tell by how I look, but I love rock music. I love some good dance music. I love hip hop. I'm starting to really like country music, man. You believe that? I'm starting to like country music. I love blues music. I like a little bit of jazz, I like a little bit of I just like anything to make my head just go, yeah, that's a nice sound, I like all that. I think it's good to listen to all kind of music, man. You can't just sit there and listen to the same shit all the time. You just think the same way. I think if you just stay with your culture just the entire time, you're missing out on some other great things with other cultures, man. I love it that I can hang out with white people, and then I can hang out with black people, and then I can hang out with Spanish people. I can hang out with all kind of people, man. If you cool, I'm cool. I'm like elementary school, man. If you nice to me, I'm nice back. If you mean to me, you get slapped. Ooh, yeah, we gonna tag that one, shout it. If you're nice to me, I'm nice back. If you're mean to me, you get slapped. Ooh, that's an ad lib. What you call it, ad lib? Ooh, I'm gonna tell my wife that. I'm gonna see what she says. Yeah. I like that one. Damn, dog. Name Tape Defilade, baby. This was episode 1. I'm gonna try to do this consistently, man. I just, whoever wants to listen to it, man. Whoever wants to give it some time, that's cool, man. I like all that. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If you like it, you like it, man. I'm a stand-up comedian. I'm trying to do something with my life. I'm trying to provide some entertainment to people that want to hear it with my life views and my perspectives and the way I think, man. I think it's a funny thing, man. And if we all get cool, man. But I'm very excited to keep doing this, man. This is going to be a cool little venture. So, this is episode 1 in the books. And I already got sponsors. I know people are not going to believe this, but I already got them. All right? They're simple sponsors. This podcast is brought to you by water. All right? If you talk too much and your throat dry, take a gulp of some water, baby. This podcast is also brought to you by air. O2. Air. If you're a little stressed out, take a deep breath. If you want to punch somebody in the face, don't do it. Take a deep breath. If you just sitting there not doing nothing, take a deep breath. Oxygen, we all need it. This is episode 1 of Name Tape Defilade. I hope this reaches people, and I hope we have a good time, man. I'm just trying to bring some funny to you. I'm trying to bring some serious to you. I'm trying to bring some inspiration and some life to you, just the way I see it. My name is Matt Rivera. This has been episode 1 of the Name Tape Defilade podcast. You guys take care. Have a great ass week, and pay your bills and do all that good shit. Y'all take care. Peace out.